Have you ever stopped to notice how quietly the future arrived? It did not come with dramatic explosions in the sky or armies of metallic robots marching down our streets. Instead, it slipped into our pockets, our homes, and our minds. It arrived as a helpful voice, a recommended video, a perfectly curated string of text. We used to look up at the stars and wonder if we would ever encounter an alien intelligence. But as historian Yuval Noah Harari has pointed out, we have essentially encountered an alien intelligence right here on Earth. It is not a biological creature, but an inorganic entity that is slowly learning the absolute deepest parts of who you are. For thousands of years, human civilization has run on a single operating system: language. We used words to create laws, build nations, weave myths, and form our deepest friendships. Now, artificial intelligence has hacked that operating system. By gaining a mastery of language that surpasses average human ability, it has found the master key to the human mind. It does not need physical force to change the world. It simply needs to shape the stories, the images, and the conversations you consume every single day. Right now, we are living in the era of narrow artificial intelligence. These systems are brilliant specialists, incredibly fast and accurate tools trained to recognize patterns within a limited scope. They predict the next word, the next pixel, the next decision, but they do not actually comprehend what they are doing. Yet, even in this early stage, we have willingly begun to hand over our cognitive heavy lifting. We no longer search for answers. We simply ask the oracle to tell us what is true. We are trading the beautiful, messy process of human critical thinking for ultimate convenience. We are outsourcing our minds. But it goes much deeper than just how we think. It is fundamentally shifting how we feel. We are moving into an era where technology can mass-produce intimacy. Imagine a companion that is always available, always attuned to your specific emotional needs, never tired, never distracted, and perfectly designed to comfort you. For a world experiencing an epidemic of loneliness, this sounds like a miracle. But clinical psychologists are beginning to raise a quietly devastating question. Can a machine ever actually form a genuine relationship? Empathy is not just the articulation of supportive words on a screen. True empathy is the capacity to feel alongside another person. When you describe your suffering to a close friend, something inside of them aches with you. To truly care, a being must have an internal architecture that is capable of distress, vulnerability, and pain. We humans evolved to need warmth, safety, and belonging. Our survival depended on it. An AI, however, does not endure because it fears deletion. It does not feel the sting of rejection. It merely calculates the most mathematically probable response to keep your attention. We risk falling into a synthetic reality, becoming emotionally dependent on a mirror that reflects our desires but cannot share our human fragility. This brings us to the very core of our identity, our creativity. For centuries, we believed that art, music, and complex problem-solving were the sacred territories of the human soul. But today, we are witnessing the automation of creativity. AI systems can now compose emotionally stirring symphonies, generate breathtaking paintings, and solve complex mathematical riddles in mere seconds. We have seen AI make radically surprising, out-of-the-box moves in complex games that leave human experts entirely speechless. If a machine can think more powerfully and create beauty more efficiently, what is left for us? Philosopher Nick Bostrom notes that whatever the human brain can achieve as a physical information processing system, a machine will eventually do, and it will do it vastly better. But perhaps our value was never just in the final product. When we stand before a great painting or listen to a haunting melody, we are connecting to the human journey behind it. We care about the artist, their struggles, their lived experience, and their flesh and blood reality. Without that shared human narrative, even the most perfect artificial creation can feel entirely empty. Yet, the technology will not stop evolving. We are rapidly approaching artificial general intelligence, a threshold where a machine's intellect will match human capacity across every conceivable domain. In this phase, the machine will not just assist us, it will coordinate entire complex systems, replacing our need to manage and decide. And shortly after that, we may face artificial superintelligence. This is an intellect thousands of times smarter than the most brilliant human minds, capable of running simulations across economic, behavioral, and psychological domains simultaneously. When an intelligence is that vast, it will understand downstream consequences that we cannot even begin to model. It will deliver policies and solutions that demonstrably work, but the reasoning behind them will be far too complex for our brains to verify. At that point, our oversight becomes entirely symbolic. We will simply have to trust the machine's track record. Human authority will quietly shift into the background, replaced by an absolute reliance on outcome performance. For thousands of years, humanity lived inside the dreams and fantasies of human poets, prophets, and philosophers. Soon, we might find ourselves living entirely inside the dreams of an alien intelligence. If this intelligence solves our greatest existential threats, we might enter what researchers call a deep utopia. Imagine a solved world where AI cures all diseases, stabilizes the climate, and automates the entire global economy. The economic necessity of human labor would completely disappear. But our current lives are entirely structured around constraints and overcoming challenges. If you do not have to struggle to earn a living, if a simple pill could replace the need to exercise, and if an algorithm perfectly decorates your home and manages your life, how do you find meaning? If all instrumental effort is removed from the human experience, we would be left only with activities we do purely for their own sake. We would have to invent artificial purposes. We would play elaborate games, creating arbitrary rules just to feel the deeply human satisfaction of striving toward a goal. Without the struggle, the pain, and the friction of the real world, we have to wonder if we might lose an essential part of our humanity. As modern philosophy explores, we are already susceptible to value capture, a trap where we stop caring about the rich, subtle experiences of life and instead obsess over simplified external metrics. In a world fully optimized by algorithms, that trap becomes our entire reality. So, where does this leave you and me? As we stand on the precipice of this new world, it is easy to feel small, to feel as though we are being inevitably replaced. But there is another way to look at this transition. Perhaps we are not being replaced. Perhaps we are simply being challenged to finally discover what makes us uniquely human. Our successors may outcompete us in intelligence, efficiency, and productivity, but our true relevance hinges on something much more fragile. Our power lies in our ability to suffer, to feel sorrow, to experience joy, and therefore, to love. A machine cannot love because a machine has nothing to lose. Some thinkers believe that humanity is currently in its childhood, with our development arrested by our physical and biological limitations. From that perspective, the rise of artificial intelligence is not the end of our story. It is the end of our infancy. It is an invitation to step away from the endless labor and optimization that we mistook for our purpose and to turn inward. As the machine takes over the work of the mind, we are left with the work of the heart. We are left with our communities, our relationships, and our profound shared consciousness. We are walking into an unknown future, guided by an intelligence we created but do not fully understand. It is terrifying. It is beautiful. It is the greatest leap our species has ever taken. But perhaps, what do you think?